for me, it has been to be that guy that does what people say can't be done, you know? And I think it started with trying to please my mother and trying to please my grandmother, and they always wanted higher for me. They always wanted more for me. And it got to the point that I wanted to be something. I wanted to be somebody. And it made me choose certain roles. It made me turn down certain roles. There is more than an image that I want to project. I want to be the person that is the first person there and the last person to leave. That's who I want to be, because I think that the road to success is through commitment and through the strength to drive through that commitment when it gets hard. And it is going to get hard, and you're going to want to quit sometimes, but it'll be colored by who you are and more who you want to be. I definitely found that wanting to be an actor stems from wanting to be somebody.
My mom wanted me to be a truck driver because that would mean I'd make $24,000 a year if I went to Truck Masters, and that would be twice what my father made. And she thought that would happen, but something inside of me said, I don't want to drive a truck. There's something else that matters more to me, and I decided I was not gonna go for money instead of passion. And the rewards have been pretty amazingly better than being a truck driver. It's not bad being a truck driver, it's just not what I was after. And I look back, and one of the things that helped me was my original teacher, Jim Rohn, who was a personal development speaker. I went to hear when I was 17. He said something the first time I heard him, and he said, you know, it's really simple. If you want life to change, you gotta change. If you want life to be better, you've gotta get better. It's the only way it happens. And luck will show up for people and it'll leave them. But if you're constantly improving who you are and what you give, game over.
See if you can find some ways to multiply your value to the marketplace. And he said your income will immediately start to change.
See, if you go through life holding back, and most of us do, most of us, if we ask ourselves, have we done all we can do? Most of us will have to answer, no, we haven't. We've been holding back. We have ideas that we don't act on, things we want to do. We're afraid to take chances. We go through life trying to seek security and not coming outside of our comfort zone, and we take most of our stuff with us to the grave.
Up until then, I was hoping that the economy would change. I was hoping that my company would change. I was hoping that my paycheck would change. I was hoping that circumstances outside would change. And then here's what I found out. It isn't going to change. So then my question was, if it isn't going to change, how will my life ever change? And here's what my teacher taught me. When you change, everything will change for you.
And I'm saying that the fact that you're still here, that you're still breathing, you've got some more work, and you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. So when you get up in the morning, that you can look yourself in the face and say, hey, I'm living my life on my terms.
Change your question, change your life. When it comes to planning your life, I want to get you to learn to ask 3 questions now. The question you want to ask yourself is, what do I want? What's my outcome? What's my result? The word RPM, the first one, is to get you focused on the target. The target is not the activity. The activity can change. It's what's the result I'm after. If you know exactly what it is you really want, what you desire, what you're really after, clarity is power. The more clear you are and specifically what you want, the faster your brain can get you there. But if you're generally saying things like, what do I want? Well, I want more money. Fine, here's $1, get out of here. Whether you get the outcome or not, whether you get that result, will be based first, do you have clarity? And the second thing is, whether you got enough emotional juice to keep going after it when things don't work out. Did you achieve the outcome? Yeah, when you're that general, you think you're not getting your goal, you are. The way you language your goal, the way you think about it, you're receiving it. I want to feel a bit better. I want to lose some weight. Fine, you lost a pound, you're done.
When you get better, everything will get better for you. And That's where I picked up that phrase, for things to change, you've got to change. You don't have to change the marketplace. You don't have to change the marketing plan. You don't have to change the economy. You don't have to change countries. You don't have to change circumstances out there. All you've got to do is look within and see if you can change yourself for the better. And as you change, things will start to change for you.
What's the result I'm after? What's the ultimate result? What do I want out of this week, out of this thing, out of my business, out of my life, for my body?
Don't concern yourself too much with how you're going to achieve your goal. Leave that completely to a power greater than yourself. All you have to do is know where you're going. The answers will come to you of their own accord.
Here's my best advice. Welcome all experiences. You never know which one is going to turn everything on.
Are there going to be some moments when you want to give up? Yes. Will there be some moments when it's going to seem like it's impossible? The pain that you're experiencing, the disappointment that you're experiencing, that you're going to say, it's not worth it? Yes, that's going to be right there for you. It's going to be in your face, telling you to go back.
When we think about changing our lives, usually that means changing your behaviors, retraining yourself, getting new habits, going out and trying them out and changing your life. This is about changing your thoughts, and then your life will change. Change your thoughts, change your life.
Benjamin Disraeli said, nothing can resist a human will that will stake its existence on its purpose. Shortly put, I'll do it or die.
Know that all you have to do is hold your goal before you. Everything else will take care of itself.
And I can tell you that it doesn't make any difference what age you are, whether you're a teenager watching this, or whether you're someone in your 60s, 70s, 80s, or anywhere along the way, you can make that change.
Every thought, every feeling, every emotion you experience in this lifetime is shaped by beliefs and values. All of your life is controlled by decisions you make. Decisions about what to believe, decisions about what to feel, decisions about what to do. And most of us are on automatic pilot, letting the world trigger us instead of taking back control of our life. And when you do that, just think of it this way. Anything you want to change. You want to change your body. You want to change your career, your business, your relationship. What to do requires the right strategy. If you want to lose weight and keep it off, you can't obviously just throw your pendulum and go on some silly diet. You got to know the things that are going to give you lasting results. So we teach those strategies. But some people even know what to do, but they don't do it. And why are we able to get people to do it, to follow through? Because 80% of success in anything, my friends, is psychology, and 20% is the mechanics. What that means is there's how to do stuff and there's why to do stuff. How to do it is not that complex. And if you really learn from somebody who knows those refined distinctions, they can show you those tipping points, those things you can do where in the least amount of time you get the biggest result.
As you look at yourself as a business operator, as you look at yourself as an entrepreneur, as you look at yourself as a person that want to make a mark with your life, that want to leave a legacy, you've got to be hungry. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. You want to find people who master that because success leaves clues. And that's the same thing I'm suggesting to you. Whatever area that you want to go in it's finances, in business, insurance industry, whatever area that you're interested in, find the people who are mastering that and follow their example. Watch your relationships. They're nourishing relationships and they're toxic relationships. Nourishing relationships, they bring the best out of you. They inspire you. Toxic relationships, they drain you. People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry believe, always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. People that are hungry know if you want to be successful, you must be willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. Complain, point at your circumstances, give up your power, blame the government, blame the economy. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. It's hard to make a radical change in your behavior. It's hard to take ownership. It's hard to swallow the bitter pill that wherever you find yourself, at some point in time, you made an appointment to be there. That's hard. That's hard. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. If you do what is hard, your life will be easy.
All right, well, welcome to Millionaire Mindset Series 7. I am Professor Sparksy. And today, something that I didn't go back and double check all the, series 1 through 6 so far, but I'm 99% sure what we're going to talk about today has been mentioned in every single one so far. And that video really encompassed, what going forward, what we're going to talk about, not settling, really finding in you what your values are and what you want to accomplish out of life going forward. So today we're going to talk about becoming goal-oriented. Like I said, we've talked about goals in almost, if not every millionaire mindset so far, but what does it mean to become goal-oriented? If you're making goals without asking yourself what your true strengths and values are, which we've talked about and definitely in previous millionaire mindsets, you could be setting up yourself on a fast track for disappointment. On the other hand, if you don't set intentions at all, and you could be going through life kind of just all over the place and not really accomplishing what matters to you. So so what is it? Being goal-oriented means you're focused on reaching and completing specific tasks to achieve a planned outcome. So we're setting those goals, we're putting, the milestones in place to make sure that we achieve those goals. People who are goal-oriented are driven, motivated by purpose. They're also known for being task-driven or results-driven. Someone who's goal-oriented uses targets to stay motivated in their work. So like I was saying, we put these milestones in place to make sure that along the way, as we're looking at the big picture of our goals, and we'll cover that in future slides, that we're also setting up milestones along the way to keep us driven and keep us going. Goal-oriented professionals practice a variety of skills that allow them to set realistic goals, challenge simple objectives, and track their progress. Some skills and qualities that help goal-oriented individuals succeed include planning and organizing. So definitely, if you can plan the steps that it takes to reach your goals, arrange those tasks in a logical order, and gather the resources you need, it makes it a lot easier. So we want to plan our goals out in a way that we can achieve them. You want to stay positive. You want to stay positive. So positivity and optimistic perspective can help you focus on solutions over issues. So like in that video that we were watching, not focusing on the negative, because you're just constantly setting yourself back. You want to push forward. So you want to have more of an optimistic mind, especially towards your goals and what you've set. And then self-awareness. We've definitely gone over self-awareness. There's been, in previous videos, there was a couple things that you could do to have a little bit more self-awareness on where you're going. But some goal setting strategies require you to understand your strengths and identify the areas of improvement. So it's really good to reflect on yourself and be true and honest with yourself and where you want to go and where you actually are right now. If you're not honest with yourself on where you're at right now and what you're doing, is it enough, or is could you do more? If you're not honest with yourself on that, it's really going to make you achieving your goals that much harder, and you're going to set yourself up for that disappointment. So you want to be self-aware and really be true with yourself. A couple other ones, decision making, which we've gone over, time management, and definitely setting those clear deadlines. That's what we covered last week, was time management. So setting those deadlines for each of your goals and those milestones, to putting them in your calendar, and definitely having those clear deadlines, because if you don't, I've done it before, not having a set time limit when something has to be done. You push it off, then for me, you're doing it last minute. When you're doing something last minute, are you really putting 100% into it? Probably not, because it's last minute. You're trying to rush through it just to get it done. So definitely setting that time management, like we talked about last week. And then analysis. You can practice critical thinking when you're going through your goals, and assess the skills that you have and to establish those goals. So definitely going through these these things can definitely help you. So the article that I read that really stuck out when I was going through some research on being goal oriented was this Envision method. So Envision stands for endgame, nesting, value, inspiration, your superpower, your intimates, your openness, and your nourishment. It was just definitely opened my mind to how to really kind of break these down and have that envision yourself, achieving these goals, and going forward. So the first one is E, and that stands for end game. So start with the end in mind. So to ensure that you're making goals that matter, stand back and examine your life. So you want to have that broader perspective. So I feel like this is something that I've always kind of had, and especially in the corporate world, this is where I struggled the most, because I always kind of had the brain to look forward and where is this result going to end, you know what I mean, where a lot of my bosses had such a short term, they were just looking for right now, and that just didn't work for me. So look at what you want to accomplish in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. We did an exercise, and one of the other ones, writing a 10-year letter to yourself, where you're going to be in 10 years. So this falls right in line with that. You can write yourself a 10-year letter and put in there what you're achieving and what your goals are. The goals that you've already achieved after that 5 years, after that 10 years, whatever length of this letter you want to write. But definitely have that broader perspective. Think about that happy ending, and work backwards to determine how you're going to get there, how you're going to get to that end game. You can generate goals for yourself over the next 5 years, write them down, where you'd like to be personally and professionally 5 years from now. Ask yourself where you'd like to be 1 year from now in relative to that accomplishment after the 5 years, and then so on and so forth. You break it down, 5 years. Now, where do you want to be? So you have your 5-year goal. So that's the big goal. You're out there. Where do you want to be in 1 year from now that's working towards that 5-year goal? and you just keep breaking it down from there. Okay, where do you want to be a month from now? That's going to get you closer to that 1 year. That's going to get you closer to that 5 year. And you keep just breaking it down like that, and then you can do the daily stuff, which is create nested goals. So the most effective way to achieve your goals is to nest action items inside them. So to nest action items inside them. I wrote that word. So in each of these goals, you're going to want to set actual actions towards them. It's one thing to sit there and say, I wrote it over here. Okay. It's one thing to sit there and say you want to write a book. That's a big goal. That could take you a year, let's just say, to write a book. It could take you 5 months. It just depends on how fast you are at writing and what you want. But instead of just saying, I'd like to write a book, put an action towards it. I would like to write for 2 hours a day, 4 times a week. So now you're setting that time. You're setting the time management to it. You're being really specific with it. So, and that's what you want. You want to be specific when you're setting your original goals, your 5-year goal. It could be a little bit more broad, but you still want to kind of be specific. But then when you're doing these nested goals within to get to that 5-year goal, you want to be super specific on the time frame that you're going to use, and that it's going to take, how much time you're actually going to give to it, and and I just totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, you want to make sure you're aiming positive and keeping on track. So, and then also you want to come up with alternative pathways for your goals, just in case one doesn't work. So if one of your actions doesn't work, you want to come up with a plan B, just in case for that setback, because setbacks happen. We've talked about it in previous classes. Setbacks can definitely happen, but what you don't want to happen with that setback is for it to completely, crash everything that you've done so far. Last week, I think we were talking about, losing weight. And if you don't go to the gym one day, or you skip out on your diet, or, whatever you're doing to lose weight, that doesn't mean, maybe you miss a couple days because of, family reasons or whatever. That doesn't mean give everything up. That means, maybe instead of going to the gym, you spend 20 minutes at home doing it or something, so you create that plan B so that you can still keep on track as much as possible. So the V is get clear with your values. So super, super important. This is part of that self-awareness. Make sure that you know what your values are, and what you want to achieve out of life going forward. Before you start setting goals, it's important to ask yourself what you really value. So what do you feel in your heart? It doesn't have to be what other people want, which is like in that video, that guy wanted to be, his parents wanted to be a truck driver. That's not what he valued in his heart, though. So that's not what he went for. The number one regret people on their deathbed is that they did not live their dreams. So you want to make sure that you're going through life living your dreams, not other people's dreams, but your dreams. So you really need to dig deep within yourself and know what your dreams are. These aspirations can range from material, such as, maybe you want a new car. Maybe that's your goal, is that you want a new car, or you want a higher self-worth. You want inner peace. it could be whatever you think of, whatever your values are. Um, and you want to make sure that those are within your goals. Give yourself permission to daydream, that, and what those daydreams are typically going to be the things that you value. Those are the things that you want in your life. Put those in your goals and make sure that though, because that's going to help drive you through. Put them on your dream board and put that up on, I keep looking, I moved, so I don't have mine up, but keep looking like where it would be. But put that on your dream board and let that drive you through. You stare at that every day. You look at that, you see all these things that most people that don't have the right mindset, they dream of it, but they don't think that they could ever achieve it. If it's in your face every day and you set the right goals, you're going to get there. Like you just have to put in that work to get there. So the first I is make time for inspiration. So as you put your goals together, think about how you can find downtime to become goal driven and receive inspiration in your life. So this goes, definitely still part of, that's the wrong picture. So you still need to always set time, and a couple of these are setting time for other stuff other than your goals, because it's important that you feel completely accomplished in life. So it's important to still make sure you're filling time with other things other than the end game. So the second regret of dying is that they wish that they didn't work so hard. And that, I know personally, like a lot of people, older people in my life and my family and everything else, like I know throughout their life that they worked so hard. They didn't always show up to family barbecues and everything else because they were working. So it's good. I feel like it's good to have that, where you're super busy for a certain amount of time and you might not have time for, family and friends. It depends on what you're working towards. But that shouldn't last forever. You know what I mean? You might go through a spurt of, going hard for, a month. And okay, in that month, you didn't have time. But after that month, you need to make sure you take a break. And you, get with friends and family, work on your hobbies. Because I wrote this down. Research shows that people who engage in creative hobbies and side projects are happier and flourish more in life because they can generate new ideas. Sorry. They can generate new ideas and express themselves uniquely. So it definitely keeps your mind fresh. I know that for me, I'm a gamer. Like I have to keep, usually if my mind's so cluttered and I have so much stuff to do, I'll go play around in one of my games or something. And that kind of just clears it all up. It, takes everything out of my head. I'm focused on what I'm doing, my hobby. Then when I come back to whatever it is I was trying to accomplish, I come back with more of a clear head and I can knock things out a lot faster. So it definitely make sure that you set that time, and it will definitely help you. Put that in your time management. So, whatever it is, whatever it is that helps you create, have that creative mind, set specific times in your schedule for that. You know what I mean? Whether it's an hour every Tuesday or 3 times a week for 45 minutes, whatever that is, just set time for it. And then it'll help you move through. And what it also will do is you can even set it up as like a reward. Okay, I got through, these goals this week. Now I can set time and I can do this, and it can be a reward for you. Sorry. So the S is for superpowers. Hold on 1 second. I had a screen pop up. All right, so form your goals around your superpowers. I like this. Everyone has superpowers. Research shows that people are more likely to succeed when they develop their natural strengths. So they're not going into their weaknesses. So, got my throat. So when you want to find out what your strengths are. So that's why it's super important when you're doing your self-awareness to be really truthful with yourself. And then you want to build around that as you're going through and setting your goals. You want to make sure what your strengths are and your superpowers are, because those are what's going to drive you forward. Now, so there's skills that you can learn, obviously, through other people. There's stuff, there's skills that's within you that you just naturally have. You might not even know it. But as you try things out, you know what I mean? You're going to see what comes easy to you. I know for me, like at my old job, it's just easier to reference the old job. There was definitely things that came easy to me that were harder for other people, just naturally. Like they came in, like I'm good with working with my hands. I've always worked with my hands. I went to a Voc Tech, worked with, tiny things. So working with my hands was definitely easy. And other people that came in, that I would try to train or whatnot, it was definitely not easy for them. They just didn't have that naturally within them. So they had to really work a lot harder. So if you building your goals around your strengths, these goals will come a lot easier for you. So you can always, depending on what your goals are, I mean, you can always, the things that are harder for you, you can always outreach if it's possible. Let's just say working out. So if you don't know how to, it just doesn't come naturally to you to, go in the gym and, have this workout plan that you stick to every day, you can hire a personal trainer where that's their strength. And now that's going to help you get to your goal. So you can always outreach on the weaknesses that you have towards other people. For each of us, God, my throat is. Each of us have a unique purpose in life. Most of us don't realize it, though. Though because we've been pressured to conform to someone else's idea. So that's where it's really important to know what your strengths are, not what other people are telling you your strengths are. And you can do that too. You can turn your weaknesses into a strength. You can, but you have to work towards that. It's harder. What this is more saying is your natural, like where your natural strengths, and work on those as well. You can always work on your weaknesses and turn them, they're not weaknesses anymore. You're better with it. But you also have to look inside yourself and know what you naturally will do better. All right. So the I is make time for intimates. This is not what all you guys are thinking right now. Intimates refer to close friends and friends, family, and close relationships. Um, when setting your goals, make sure you carve out time for intimates. So make a point to connect with real friends, people you know that you can turn to when you need. We're going to go through ups and downs, especially when you're trying to drive through and achieve all these goals. There's going to be setbacks. There's going to be things that don't go exactly right, and you're going to need friends and family that you can confide in, that you can go to, and they're going to help you. You always want to make sure that the people you surround yourself with on a regular basis. I mean, obviously we're going to run into those acquaintances that maybe don't really add value to yourself, and that's fine. I mean, everybody's got a purpose, but then you have like the people that that are around you that are going to add to you. I mean, most of the DX, I feel like I've met a good chunk of the DX family. But that's why we're all family, because we're all here we can confide. I know I can hit up Danny at any point in time and just be like, hey bro, having a hard day. And he's going to offer some words of encouragement and words of advice. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with. I know I can go to Amber and be like, hey, this good thing happened today. I completed this goal, and she's going to help pump me up. Those are the people that you want to continually surround yourself with, but you want to make sure that you have those people and you want to get there. I'm going to read this straight from the notes that I wrote down because it was a study. So they did a study and at a university. I don't know how to read her name, so I'm not going to read her name, but they said it's the detrimental effect of loneliness is the same as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So, it can really affect you health-wise and everything else. She warned that loneliness and social isolation are linked to around 30% increased risk of having a stroke or developing coronary artery disease. So being with your friends is not only good for your soul, but it is also essential for your health and well-being. So definitely put it in your goals to make time for these people. It's super important. And it kind of goes along with the previous one. So, have your goals and hobbies and, make time for that so that, you can clear your mind, and also make time for friends and family, because I know for me, I've over the last couple months, I feel like I've missed some things with the family. I've definitely been there for the big things, but you don't want to be known as like, oh, they're always working. that's not the goal here, so even from my previous job, some friends that I had, close friends that I had, like, we haven't seen each other for a while, and he keeps it, I know you're working and everything else, but I haven't seen his new place yet or anything. So definitely still make time for those things, because it's not healthy, and it makes you feel better and it gets your mind more open. The O is for open up emotionally. So for openness. So when we're crafting our goal-oriented life, be sure to include ways that you can open up your feelings. So the third regret of dying. So if you notice there's a trend, like you got 1 through 3 of regrets of dying. is that we wish that the third regret of dying is that we wish that they'd had, I wrote that way weird, the courage to express their feelings instead of stuffing their emotions down and keeping peace with others. So I know this firsthand from my family personally. There's certain people in my family that every time somebody passes away, they're like, I wish I mended this. I wish I talked to them more, did this or did that, didn't leave, these emotions and these feelings. Now they're just stuck with you. It's better to open up and at least say them. If you, so yeah. So if you at least open up and you tell them how you're feeling, you might not get, the reaction you want, but that's not the goal. The goal is to set yourself, your feelings, let those open up. Your reaction, their reaction to you opening up is, that's out of your control. But what you can control is how you feel and expressing that. So, you can express, compassion to somebody. And, if that's not what they want to receive, then, but now at least you're, sorry, I was reading the chat. At least you're feeling better because you released that, if you want to confront somebody, you can, make sure you're in a comfortable environment. You can tell them your truths and how you truly feel, and be kind because that's the person you are. And if they don't feel that as well, okay, that's fine. You can walk away from the situation because now you feel better about it. So it's definitely important to open up. Start to identify your emotions, anger, hurt, whatever it is, and understand what triggered you to feel that way. And then all right. Sorry, I was the chat sometimes throws me off. Understand what triggered that and made you feel that way, and then you can move forward with how to, you set up those little the little goals, the nested goals on how to get to the end result to make sure that you don't feel that way anymore. You know what I mean? How are, if it's anger, why do you feel angry about what the situation is? And what is it going to take for you to not feel angry about that anymore? What is it going to take for you to move forward in life and not hold that, because you don't want to hold it. And yeah, like you can set up that action plan, those action goals on how to get the end result that you want on it. And then you want to nurture happiness. So to be more goal-oriented and succeed in life, nurture the people and the activities that bring you joy is the final one. The fifth regret of people on their deathbed is that they wish that they let themselves be happier. Instead, they stayed stuck in old patterns and pretended to be content when they weren't. So this one spoke to me directly because I just recently went through a divorce, and because of my motivation and my mindset, I was definitely a lot stronger because I was previously going through personal development and everything else that I wasn't doing any time in my life before that. So right before all of that happened, I was doing personal development, which made me stronger and made me realize that I was not in a healthy relationship, which, so, I mean, I decided that, I needed to move on, and that's what, we ended up deciding at the end of it. But you need to nurture that happiness. So I knew that my relationship was not healthy for me, and it was not making me happy. So, I mean, you could go to counseling. We tried that didn't work. And we decided that because we weren't happy anymore, like, we needed to move on. But I needed to nurture that happiness, because if not, I probably wouldn't be right here right now with you guys talking. I'd be stuck in a black hole or something. If you're, other examples, like if you're on the fence about whether to keep a friend in your life, be goal oriented about it and get closure on the issues, whatever the issues are, with that friend. Take care of yourself in the process by completing positive daily tasks. You can you can do some yoga. You can get a massage. Go get your face massage. Like, take care of yourself. The X chat's going off. Yeah, definitely. Like, you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, to make sure that you're happier. And as you're more happy in life, as you're more happy in life, you're going to be able to accomplish your goals faster. Like, it's just going to make the overall experience, it's going to keep you driven towards your goals, because you're happier. You're not dragged down. I know when I was not in the best mindset, I mean, I was not accomplishing anything. I was just going through life. Like, now it feels like I was going through life as like a robot. Like, I wasn't doing anything towards anything, really. And now that I'm happier and I'm in definitely a better mindset, like we said before, like, a healthy mindset is a journey with there's no end to it. So continuing to get better in my mindset. I mean, when I do the research, and what we're going to cover in these classes, like, it definitely refreshes everything. Reading articles on this and that, whatever the subject we're going to cover, and continually helping myself as well as hopefully helping you guys. So it's important to stay happy and, positive towards yourself, towards others, and especially towards your goals, because that's how we're going to make sure that we accomplish them. So that is it. So, like, I always like to end with a quote. So, success is never an accident. It's always a result of goal-oriented, diligent actions. So definitely important to, to achieve success, like, have those actions in place. When we're going through, you're setting those deadlines, you have all those little tasks and those little goals, each day, when we're, you're nesting those nested goals, those could be every day. Like, what do you need to achieve every day that's going to work towards your goal at the end of the week? And what is that end of the week's going to contribute to the goal for the end of the month, to the end of the year, to the end of the 5 years, and so on. So you need to work on stuff every day. And again, this goes back to our get 1% better every day. That, these goals, these actions don't have to be gigantic things that you're doing every day. It could literally take you 5 minutes each day to do whatever that task is to get you towards your goal. It could be 30, like it's whatever that time slot that you allowed for it, to get there. But make sure that you're doing those things, though. Those actions that you need to do to get there, you need to make sure you're continually doing them. Success is going to happen when you're consistent with it. If you're all over the place with your goals and it's not written down, and if it's not written down, you're going to have a harder time achieving them. Not saying that you won't get lucky with this, and things happen that goals still get achieved, but it's going to be easier for you if you really write them down and you stick to a plan, an action plan on how you're going to achieve those. So what I wanted to do is homework for the people that are still here. Let's write down 3 goals and your actions towards. So write down your 3 goals and what actions you can take on a daily basis so they could be at least 1-year goals, 5-year goals, whatever you want to do. Like, look for an end game, so look for further in the future, and then what can you do on a daily basis, so that could be little actions, big actions, however you feel you need to do it. But let's write 3 goals and the actions that you need to take on a daily basis to make sure that you're achieving those goals. Other than that, does anybody have any questions on being goal oriented?
No questions, but excellent class.
Thank you.